where we left in the last video. Everything's looking great. Now what I will do, I'll simply come back here in the package.json file, and here you can see all of these packages we are using and everything working absolutely fine. We have tested extensively in the last video. Now what I will do, I'll simply close this one and I can come back here in the node modules which I already installed. Now let's start the application. So if I open up the terminal and let's type npm run dev, and you can see every single thing is working fine. You can simply come back to the browser and open this up. So our connection with the context management, the CSS file, everything is working fine. Now we're going to start working on the front end part. So come back to the page, go back to the index, and first we have to import all the components, and we're going to simply bring out all the functionality because this particular application is going to be a single page application. So what I will do, I'll simply change the name to the blockchain coder, and looks good. So that's the one I want to give it. Now save it. We can simply come back in the component section and we have to import all of the components. So we have built all of the component. Now let's import in this particular file. So from here we can export it and we can utilize it in our application. So let's come back here. Let's call this import footer, and that's coming from the same directory. Replicate this couple of times, and now we have to change the name. So this is going to be header, about, brand, contact, FAQ, feature, hero, loader, progress, sidebar. We'll have team and we'll have token. Now we need few more, so replicate that. This will be token info and this will be roadmap. So this is all the component we are importing. Now let's change the name. So simply copy and paste here. Let's do that quickly for all that imports. FAQ, feature, hero, loader, progress, sidebar, team, token, token info, and roadmap. So we got all of this component. This is the hardcode component. Now we have to deal with the pop-up models. So let's import that as well. So come back here, let's call this model, and it will be pop-up coming from the same directory. Replicate this and change this. So this one will be token, transfer token. This will be honor, transfer currency, donate, and we'll have update price and update address. Got it? All the pop-up component. Now we have to simply replace, copy and paste. Donate, honor, token, and that's all the components. It looks great. Now we have to simply export the component from this particular file. So we can simply come back here, export, and let's call out all the name. So this one is going to be footer, header, about, brand, contact, FAQ, feature, hero, loader, progress, sidebar, team, token, token info, roadmap, pop-up, transfer, honor, transfer currency, donate, update address, and update price. So we got all of this component we are exporting from this particular file, so we can utilize in our front end. So everything is looking great. I hope you guys have understood the structure I'm following. Now we can come back here and simply come back here, and we have to import all of the components right up here in the index file. So first thing, what I will do, this is what I have. Let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. Perfect. Now let's import couple of things from React. So this will be use state and use effect. We're going to import more, but let's go with this basic approach. Then we have to import the component which is coming from our component folder index. So we can come back here in the component section and we can simply copy all of this which we are exporting from this file. Simply copy, and that's what we can simply import here. So we got all the components, looks fine. Now we can simply come back here and we have to import the other one. So this one is coming from our context index, and this will be utils because we have to get our short address, and that's coming from utils. So let's import our token ICO context, which is coming from our context management. So if I take you back here, let's come back here in the context. This is the file index, and here we have this one. So this is the one which we are exporting and receiving, and this will allow us to get all the function we have defined from our context management. So simply copy this one, and that's what we have to import here. So we got this. Now we have to get our utils, so we can simply check the spelling, and now we can simply come back to the utils, and here we have these two functions. So let's start with the short address first. Simply copy and let's import that. So we got our functions. Now we can simply come back here and we have to import our use context, because we have to receive the functionality we have developed. So we got this use context. Now we have to simply utilize this one. Copy. We can simply come back here and we have to stick this, and we have to call this use context. In that we have to simply pass our context management. So we'll take this token ICO context. Perfect. We got that. Now we can come back here, close this one, come back to the context index file, and we already have all of this function we are exporting. So we're going to simply copy this all, and that's all I'm going to receive here. So let's receive that. Perfect. So we got all of these features, the functionality and the variable, we got it, because this is all we're going to utilize it in our application. So we're done with that. Now we can simply come back here, and now we have to take a couple of state variable. So let's call this use state. This will be honor model, and the reason why I'm taking this model, because we're going to have pop-up model for transfer, for token, for ICO, for ownership. So that's why I'm taking this model. By default it will be false, but on the click event we're going to open the model. So by default it will be false. The second one is going to be for buy model, false. The third one is going to be our transfer model. This will be false. Then we'll have this transfer currency, it will be false. Then we'll have open donate, it will be false. And we'll have open update price, it will be false. And the last one is going to be called open update address is going to be false. So these are the pop-up models we have. Now we can simply come back here and take other variables as well. So this will be called details, and by default it will be empty, because when we're going to make a call to our smart contract and fetch all the information about the token, we're going to store into this particular variable. So let's make it capital D. This is all the state variable we have. Looks fine. If we find we need to add more, we can definitely come back and add. Let's come back here. Now we have to simply take this use effect and we have to make a call to our smart contract. So I notice one thing, come back here and make it small u and copy, and that's what you can paste here. In that we have to build an internal function which we're going to call it whenever there is a page reload. So let's build the function called fetch data, and we already have the function. So we'll say async. Inside that we can take this const item and we have to call our function. So we'll say await token ICO. This particular function will going to load all the data about the token. So once I have the data, I can simply set the data to our state variable details, and I want to call the function right up here, and I want to call this when there is a page reload, and whenever there is an account change I want to recall this function. Perfect. Let's console log this so we can see in our. So looks perfect. I hope you guys have understood that what we have done. So we have imported this, all of this component. There we have the context management and our utility function. Here we have all the function we have designed in our context management, all the state variable, and here we have the hook which allow us to call the contract whenever there is a page reload. Perfect. So if we come back here in the constants, and I have noticed that I have made a couple of spelling mistake. So let's rectify that one. So this is what we have here in the constant. We are got our contract address and the ABI. It looks absolutely perfect. You don't need to make any changes here. So I made this particular typo. So that's what I have to fix. So make sure to fix this. It's called error.message, not ERR. So that's the one you have to fix. Remove this one. This is the one fix you have to do. Everything looks great. Now we can simply close this one. This is fine. We don't need to make any changes here. Then we can come back to the connect wallet. This is also fine. We're going to get all the addresses, and here we have the fetch. Just keep it as it is. This is our token ICO contract. It looks great. And here we have to do the changes, because this particular ERC20 function is going to be a reusable model. So user can paste the address and they can get the details about that particular token. So we have to receive the address. So that's the one fix you have to do. Simply receive the address, remove this one, and here we have to simply call this particular contract because I forgot to call it. So that's the fix you have to do. Okay, take this variable contract, in that we have to call the fetch contract and we have to provide the relevant information, means the address, token ABI, and the signer. So this is the one which I forgot. I have added this, and the rest to be fine. Don't need to make any changes. Just add this piece of code. Then we can come back to the ERC20 token. It's exactly going to be the same. Here we have the get balance, looks perfect. And here we have this check account balance, looks great. Then we have this add token and everything's looking great. Perfect. So make sure to do these two changes which I have told you. Now we can come back to the index, and here we have to do one more fix. So you can see everything is looking great, and I made a spelling mistake here in the children. So it's CHILDREN, but I made a typo called CHILDER. So this is the one fix you have to do. If you go with the wrong spelling, the data will not reflect in the front end side. So let's remove this portion, and that's the one fix you have to do right up here in the context management. So if you come back in the wrapper, so this is the wrapper we have, and here you have to also correct this spelling, remove this one. And these are the few changes you have to do. You can see our component is reflecting fine, and we are getting the chain ID right up here in our console. Perfect. The address is reflecting. Don't need to worry about this because we're going to configure our MetaMask, but everything's looking great. Absolutely great. Perfect. Now we can come back here and we can start working on our code. So close this one, come back to the index file, and here we have to simply, we are calling the function and getting all the information. So let's remove this one, and what we can do, let's make it side by side so we can see what exactly we are working on. Perfect. We got our text is reflecting. Now I can simply come back here and start working on the JSX part. So it's going to be a normal fragment because we're going to have a lot of dynamic component. So let's take this dynamic component and we'll say, so I'll say take a div, it will have a class, and let's call this one body wrap. Inside that we're going to have our dynamic class. So let's remove this one and let's take this dynamic. We'll say honor model. If it's true, then I want to display the model. So I can say this condition, and in that I can simply render the honor component. So we already have the honor component, and in that I have to simply send the prop. So we're going to send a lot of data. So it's going to take the data about the set honor model to set honor model, because it will open, so it will be true. So when the user will click on this, so I have to make it false, I have to hide it. So that's the one we have. Now the next one is going to be currency. The third one is going to be details and account. Then we'll have the set token transfer model. Then we'll have set transfer currency. After that we'll have the donate. Then we'll have the token withdraw. Then we'll have set update price, and we'll have the update address, set update address. So these are the props we are sending to the honor component because it is only visible to honor, and honor can control the basics and the important function within the contract, and only honor will have the access. So that's the props we are sending. Now let's come back to the next dynamic prop. This will be called buy model. Let's take this pop-up component, and in that we can simply send the details. So we'll say set buy model. This will be buy token. This will be currency. Detail. We'll have account, ERC20, token address, set loader. These are the props we are sending in the pop-up model. Now we can simply come back here. Perfect. Like the next one, this will be for transfer model. We'll say transfer token. Inside that we have to send the prop to set transferred model. Then we have transfer token, ERC20, set loader. We got it. Now we can come back to the next component. Let's call this transfer currency. If it's true, then we have to display this transfer currency. Let's send the prop to set transfer currency. Then we'll have transfer ether, detail, currency, and we'll have our account balance, set loader. Perfect. So we got all of these props. Now we can simply come back here and we can take the next dynamic block. This will be open donation. We'll call it donate. It will take the detail, currency, set open donate, We got it. Now we can come back here and let's take the another one. It will call open update price, and we have the component. Let's send the prop detail currency. This will be set open update price, update token price. Now we're going to have the address, so we'll say update address. Let's send the prop to details currency. We'll have set update address, and the last one is going to be the function, so we'll say update token and ERC20 token, and this will be loader. Perfect. All of these are our dynamic components. I hope you guys have followed along with me. So all of the components are looking great. Now we can simply come back here and we can display our loader component dynamically. We'll say if loader is true, then I want to display the loader component. So these are the dynamic component which going to trigger based on the condition. So let's close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one, and we have all of this component. Perfect. Now we can come back here and just display the regular component. So this one is going to be header. There it is. Let's send the prop account. We'll have a connect wallet, then we'll have a set account, then we'll have a set loader, then we'll have a set owner model, then we'll have a short address, detail, currency, owner model. These are the props we are sending. Now we can come back here. Let's go back to the sidebar. This one is going to be hero. Inside that, let's send the prop called set by model, account, connect wallet, set account, set loader, and we'll have detail, add token to MetaMask. We got that. You can see the components are reflecting fine. Now we can come back to the normal component. So we'll take this about feature. We'll have token information. We'll have team, FAQ, contact, footer. So these are the components we got it. Now we have to send the prop in the token info. Let's call this details. And that's the entire code we have to write here in the index page. You can see how beautifully we have designed the architecture in small components, so we don't need to make things clutter right in a single page. These are the components. Perfect. All the state variable, and here we can simply pass this account. I guess I provided it, but somehow it's got removed. But anyway, provide this account. So looks good. Now we can start working on our header section first. So simply copy this portion and come back to the component, close all of this open folder, come back to the components, and let's go back to the header. Let's receive the prop. So let's take this bracket and remove all of this. So we have received all the prop. Looks great. Now we can simply come back here and we can start working on few things. So we have to take this state, use state, and use effect, because we have to check when the user will change the account, and we have to simply attach the event. So we have this state. Now I can simply come back here and let's take the state variable. We'll call it is MetaMask installed, and it will be by default false. So we can come back here. We'll take a use effect, and in that we have to simply run the event. So first thing, we have to do the checks that whether the MetaMask is available or not. So we're going to use this type of, and we'll say window.ethereum is not equal to undefined. If that's the condition, we can simply make it true. We'll set the MetaMask to true. Perfect. Now we can come back here. We'll say window.ethereum. We have to make a request, and this is the method we have called on, and this will allow us to simply find out the change event. I can simply pass the event, so it's called accounts changed, and here I can simply provide the function which I want to receive, because it will take the two argument. It will take the event name and it will take the function which you want to call it. So this will be called handle. This is the function we're going to build it, handle account accounts changed. We don't have this function, that's why you can see we are getting this error, but we're going to build this one. So that's the first condition. We can come back here, we'll return, and here we can build another if statement. We'll say if type of window.ethereum is not equal to undefined, then I want to simply call window ethereum remove listener, and I can simply pass the event name is called accounts change and the function name. Perfect, got it. And I want to execute this wherever there is a change. So we got the function. Now we can simply come back here, and now we have to build the function. We'll say handle, copy this one, handle account change, and all it's going to do is going to take the array of accounts and is going to set in our state variable. So we can come back here, we can simply use this set account, and we can simply set the very first account. So this account will contain the array of accounts, but we want to get the very first account. That's the function we have. Now we can come back here, and here we have to simply build a function which allows us to connect with the wallet. We already have it, but let's build a separate one here. So we'll call this connect MetaMask. It's going to be an async, and here we have to simply take this if statement. Will say type of window.ethereum is not include undefined, not equal to undefined. Then we can simply take a try and catch. We can simply say accounts await window.ethereum.request, and in that we can provide the method. So this is the method we're going to call it, ETH-request account. That's what the method we got it. Now we can simply come back here and set the account to the very first account, and we can simply keep it as it is. So it's a very simple function which allows us to simply get the accounts and set it. If I can simply go with the error message if anything went wrong. If anything goes wrong, I can display the error message in the console. So else I can say that you should install the MetaMask. So we'll say MetaMask is not installed. So when the Ethereum object is not available in the window, means the MetaMask or the crypto wallet is not installed. So that's the entire function we have. I hope you guys have understood the logic. So this is the connect wallet function, handle change, and this is the event we have. Perfect. We got it. Now we can start working on the JSX straight away. So we can come back here. Let's take a class. We'll call it site header dash transparent ICO header, and you can see that we got this line, and inside that I can take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this header dash main dash wrap, and I can convert this div into a header tag. Let's change this to header tag. Perfect. And we are following this two dash notation. So if I remove this, the CSS will not work. So make sure to give this 2. So this is the notation I'm following. Got it? Now inside the div, I can take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this container max width 1640. Inside that div, we'll take a div. It will have a class called header dash main ul list between. Inside that we can take a div. It will have a class called header dash left ul list. We'll take a div. It will have a class called header dash logo. Inside that we can display the anchor, and I want to redirect to the home page. Inside that we can display our logo. So we will take the image tag, and I already given you the images and all the assets which we have in the starter file. So you can get that into the asset folder, and from there I can get to the image folder, and from there I can get the logo, and I can display the logo SVG. Perfect. You can see the image is displaying fine. So we got it. Now we can simply come back here, live to div. We'll take a div. It will have a class called main dash menu dash wrap ul list ul and li means list. Okay, navbar dash expand excel. Inside that we'll take a nav. It will have a class main menu collapse navbar dash collapse. Inside that we can take a ul. Inside that I'll take a li, and it's going to have all the menu. So it will have a class called active has mega menu. Inside that, I'll take this anchor and I want to redirect to the home page, and let's call it home. So this is the first menu, we got it. So simply replicate this. This will be called, let's say, about, and here I can simply change the class, so it will be called scroll spy button, and this will be take us to the about us section. So that's the ID we have to provide. Perfect. Replicate this one and change this to roadmap, and this will be roadmap, this will be team, and this one we have called FAQ. Got replicated and change this to contact. Now we can have one more, simply copy and paste here, and we can simply change this to, let's say, style, and we'll say cursor is going to be a pointer. Perfect. And we can simply remove this one, and this will be have on click function. So in that we can simply attach the function of, like, we'll say owner model, because this particular menu will be visible when the owner is connected with applications. We'll say if owner model is true, then we have to set it to false, otherwise we have to simply set it to true. Perfect. And let's change this to tools. Perfect, we got it. Now I have noticed one thing, that these classes we have applied for scrolly spy button, it should be on the anchor, not on the li. So what I will do is I'm going to select all the classes and simply cut it, and that's what we have to attach in the anchor. So what I can see, I can simply come here, not in the home, you have to start from the bar about. Let's remove all of this and take only one. Simply copy and paste in all the places. Paste here, paste here, paste here, and paste here, and paste here. So we got all of the menu. Looks great. Now we can simply go ahead and work on our button. So we can come back here and we'll take a div. It will have a class. Let's call this header dash action ul li. Then we'll take a div. It will have a class called dxl none. Inside that we'll take a anchor and remove this one. I don't want to redirect anywhere. It's going to be a button, so we'll take a class. Let's call this header dash bar. We'll say hamburger menu, and it's going to have a div. It will have a class called header dash button icon bar icon. Then we'll take a span, and it's going to be a self-closing span, so remove this one and replicate 3 times. So you can see, okay, there is a problem in our hamburger menu. I have to see what exactly went wrong, because this hamburger menu will be displayed only in mobile device, not in the desktop. Okay, that's the fix we have to do. Now I can simply come back here. We'll take a dynamic block and we're going to have our button. So we'll say if account is there, means user is connected, then I want to display this particular component, otherwise we have to display the connect wallet button. So let's come back here, take a div, close this one. It will have a class called header dash account. Inside that I can take this anchor, remove this one, and it will have an on-click function. So we can simply give this navigator, clipboard, and write text, and in that I can simply pass the details and the address of the user who's connected. Perfect. And I can simply display the address and the balance. So I can take this short address, can display the address of the user, and I want to display the balance. So we already have the details right up here in the details. I can say MATIC balance, in which we have the information about the user balance, and we can I want to slice it down to 4 characters because I don't want to display the entire big number, and I can display the currency. Perfect. So this is our dynamic data when the user will connect it. Now we have to write the else statement. So I'll take this div, let's close this one. It will have a class called header dash account. Inside that I'll take an anchor. Let's remove this one. It will have an on-click function, and the on-click function I want to simply attach the function we have built, connect MetaMask. Perfect. And it will call it connect wallet, and that's the entire code we have to write here in the header page. So if I make on the big screen, you will see that button is looking absolutely fine. The navigations are also looking great. So the entire structure of our header components looks great. Now let's reload the page and click on the button, and it will open the MetaMask. You can see it's opening the MetaMask. Now I have to give my credential, and I will be connected. So let's click on unlock, and you can see the balance and the address is also reflecting fine. So the function we have built and our utility and the context management is everything is great, but something is wrong in our hamburger menu. So that's the fix we have to do. If I click, you can see it's selecting and taking us to the different tab. So the ID is also working fine. Now we can come back to the code, and I have to do a fix little bit here because our hamburger menu is not working properly. So I found a problem. You can see this is the problem we have. Instead of BAT, I have to say BAR bar. I hope you guys have noticed this one. Let's change this to R and it will fix the issue. If you reload the page and if you go to the smaller screen, you will see our hamburger menu is reflecting fine. Perfect. It's also changing on the event. Great. So we're done with our header section. It looks great. Now we have to work on the sidebar. So when the user will click, it's going to open our sidebar. So when the user will click on the hamburger menu, it's going to open our mobile navigation. That's what we have to work now. So let's make it side by side, and we are done with all of this. Now we can come back here and close this one, and here we are in the index page. So instead of working on the hero section, let's start working on the sidebar first. Let's work on the sidebar. Let's complete the entire header section. After that, we can go back to the functionality. Perfect. So it's going to be mainly JSX. So let's come back here. Let's change this to aside. It will have a class called slide bar. Inside that, we'll take a div. It will have a class called close mobile menu. Inside that, we'll take a anchor. It will have our logo, so it will have a class. Let's call this text close. You can see that close button is reflecting fine. There it is. Perfect. We got it. Our close. Now we can simply leave one div and we can display the navigation. So we'll take this nav. It will have a class called side mobile menu. Inside that, we can take a anchor, and this will contain our image. So it will have a class called header dash logo. Margin bottom is going to be 30 pixels. Inside that, I can display the image. So I'll take the image tag. Let's provide the source image logo svg. So we got it. So you can see when you will click, it will open the close and the logo. Perfect. We got it. Now we can come back here. We'll take a div that will have a class called header dash mobile dash search. Inside that, we'll take this form, and I don't want to redirect and make any requests in the backend, but you can do that very easily. We can take the role is going to be search. Inside that, I can take this input. Let's remove this one. We'll give a placeholder like search keyword. There it is. Now we can come back here and display the button. We'll say type is going to be submit. Inside that, I can take this icon, and this will be called class T search. Perfect. Now we can simply come back here and we can take a UL. It will have a ID. Let's call this mobile menu active. Inside that, I can take a LI. Inside that, I can take an anchor, and I want to redirect to the following places. So by default, I want to be a home page, because when the user click, it will come back to the home page. Now what I will do, I'll simply replicate this couple of times. So let's give this one, and let's change this to about, and this will have a class called scroll spy dash button, and it will have the menu. Now let's replicate this couple of times. So let's change this to roadmap. This will be a roadmap. This will be a team, and let's close this one, remove it. Okay, bring it back. I just remove the last two, change this to blog, and I don't want to redirect anywhere, so just keep this one, and let's remove the class, and I just want to have one more. Simply replicate this one, and this one is going to be for get in touch. Perfect. We got that, and you can close it, you can open it. Perfect. So it's looking great. So we are done with this section as well, the sidebar. Now we can start working on our hero section. So simply select all of this. Let's go back to the hero component and paste here. Remove this. Perfect. We got all these props, looks great. And here we have to do a lot of things. We have to calculate the percentage, and we have to attach the functionality of our smart contract in the hero section, so user can add the token, they can purchase the token. That's all we have to do. So first thing, we have to import a couple of things from React. So it's going to be use effect and use state. Then we can come back here and we have to display the toaster notification. So we'll say toaster, and that's coming from React hot toast. Now we can simply come back here and we have to display the toaster notification component. So let's take that. We'll say notify success. It will take two arguments, the message and the duration. So we'll take this message, and that we can simply call the method is success. If you call the success method, it's going to display in the green, but if you call the error method, it's going to call in red. So let's pass the message and the duration. So I want to keep this notification for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Replicate this one, and this one is going to be for error. Change the method name to error, and that's the only thing we have to do for the notification. We got it. Now we'll also have a function which allows us to connect with the wallet. So let's write it down. So it's going to be a very simple function, connect wallet async, and in that we can say set loader to true. We already built a particular function. We'll say address, and we have to simply call our connect wallet function, and we can simply set the account to our state variable, because when the user will click, it's going to return the address, and that's what we are doing. So this is our current wallet. Now we can come back here and we're going to take a state variable, because we have to display the percentage. So we'll say percentage means the progress bar we have to display, and here we have to build the logic. So we'll take this use effect, and I just come here. We'll take a variable called calculate percentage. It's going to be a function. It's going to take a couple of things. So in this function, we have to do all the calculation for the progress bar. So we already have the data. So let's call this token sold. In this detail, we have all the details about the token. So we can say detail, and from there I can access the token sold data, and I can simply say if it's there, then take that, otherwise go with default 0, because I don't want to create any error. We got it. Now we can simply come back here. We'll take another one called token total supply detail. We'll say sold tokens, and I can simply add that with the, let's say, detail token balance. So in this way, and I can simply multiply with 1, so I'll get in number, otherwise I can go with 1. So what exactly I'm doing here, I'm just getting the how many token got sold and what is the remaining balance. So I can simply add them all, and I can get the total number of supply which was provided in the contract. Got it? Now we can simply do that calculation very easily. So we'll take this percentage new, and we can simply calculate the percentage, because we have this two data and it's a simple math. So we'll take this token sold, and we're going to divide with our token total supply, and it's a percentage, so we have to multiply with the 100. Perfect. We got it. Now we'll say if token total supply is equal to 0, then I want to throw the error message. We'll say token sell balance is 0, and I cannot calculate percentage, else I have to simply set the percentage. We'll say set percentage to the new percentage. Perfect. We got it. Now we can simply come back here, and I want to simply call the function every 1 second. So we have to build the set timeout. In that I have to pass the function name and the duration. So I want to call it every 1 second. Now let's add a clear event. So we'll take this return, and we'll say clear timeout. In that I can simply pass the function timer, and I want to execute this every time there is a detail data. Perfect. So that's the entire function. Very simple, very straightforward. We are doing simple calculation. What we are doing, we are getting the details about the sold and the supply, then we are calculating the percentage, and that's what we are setting up in our state variable, so we can simply display in the component. Perfect. Now we can come back here, and we'll take a function called add token metamask, and we already have the function, so it's going to be in async. All we have to do is to simply call the function. So we'll take this loader to true, then we can simply make a call to our function. We'll say await. Let's call the function, and it's going to give us the response. So once we have a successful response, we can simply close our loader, and we can display the notification, notify success to the response. So whether it's a failure, successful, update, that's all is going to be having the data in the response. Perfect. So this is the function we have. So that's the all function and the data we have to take it here in the hero section. So we have imported this component, we have taken the state variable, the functions, everything's like great. Now we have to start working on the JSX. So first thing, we have to convert it into a section. It will have a class called hero dash icon. We'll have post reel. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a self-closing div, and we can call it class hero dash background, and we'll have the data background to the image path. I'm just taking it as a addition A6. From there I can copy the plus icon. Now I can start working on the JSX. So let's change this to section. It will have an ID called team, have a class called team post reel. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called container. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called section title text center. We'll have margin bottom 70. Inside that we'll have a h5. It will have a class called section dash title dash subtitle. Inside that we can display our text. So we'll say our team. Then we can display this h2, and we can display the text. This will call meet our skilled team. Perfect. Now we have to display the cart section. We can come back here. We'll take a div. It will have a class called team dash wrap uli. In that we'll take a div. It will have a class called team dash item. Inside that we can display the div. It will have a class called avatar. Inside that we can display the image asset slash image slash team slash image 1, and save it. You can see the avatar image is looking good, and we have the cart component as well. Perfect. Now I can simply come back here. We can display a div. It will have the team dash info text center. We'll have margin bottom 20, and we can display we'll take h3, and we'll say Mitchell Johnson. You can type whatever you want as per your time, and let's give the span. It will say developer. We got this. Now we have to display the social icons. So we already have that, so we can simply come back here. We'll take a div. It will have a class called team dash social ul li center. We'll take this ul. It will have a name team social links. We'll have a link left ul li. Inside that we'll take a li. Inside that we'll take an anchor, and we'll display the icons. So this will be social Facebook. Got it? Now we have to simply replicate this, all the icons, change this to GitHub, Instagram. This will be LinkedIn, and this one is going to be, let's say, Twitter. You can see on over effect we are looking great. So we are done with this. Now all we have to do is to simply replicate this section. So simply copy this one and paste couple of times. So change this to 2, paste here, this will be 3, and paste here, this will be 4. I can display only 4 avatar. You can see all of this looks great. Perfect. This section is looking great. Now let's come back here, and we can simply go to this particular section FAQ, and from there we can copy this decorative element. Simply copy this one, and that's what we can simply paste down below here. And here we have to do the changes. So this will be called, let's say, team dash shape, and the rest would be fine. I don't need to make any changes. Like, we're gonna have this one. Let's make on the big screen, and perfect. This team section is looking great. You can see on over effect is getting activated. So we are done with all of this component. This 4 components left, which we're going to simply complete very soon. So that's the only thing I want to cover in this video. This video is already getting very long. In the next video we'll start completing all of the remaining component. So let's move to that.